Well, howdy, Ags. Welcome to this month's Aggie Growth Hacks Hack Shop. We've got a special guest for you, and a man that needs no introduction, my co-host, Chris Hunter. Thank you so much for joining us, Chris. But really what I'm excited about is what to hear you really kind of expound on last month's Hack Shop. You know, for those of you who haven't heard, haven't had a chance to check it out, Tim Douglas with Fidelis Creative Agency kind of talked a little bit about marketing, talked about branding, but really to be able to have another marketing professional back to back, to be able to really kind of expand on that and say, okay, how can you, now that you understand the basis of your brand and you know what you want to say, how do you say it effectively, and how do you say it in a manner that actually gets in front of the people you want to get in front of? And that's where I've really been super impressed with you, Chris. I know we haven't talked about this, but really to hear how you help your clients and to be able to give them real, tangible things that they can do in their practice. Sometimes it sounds marketing easy, sometimes it doesn't. You know, but I mean, I just go back to, I remember one conversation we had where you were helping one of your clients and you clearly had data that their problem with their marketing system, their funnel, was that their conversion rate was horrible. And so you talk to them about, okay, I'm giving you 200 leads a month coming into you, and the person who's picking up the phone and talking to them is terrible at it. And that is your problem. It's not a, how do I attract them? It's how do I convert them? And so to be able to really dig in to hear your expertise, I'm excited about it. And I'm excited to have all of our listeners. So without further ado, Chris Hunter, welcome so much to Aggie Growth Hacks Hack Shop, and really looking forward to learning from you.
Appreciate it, Greg. You know, and just kind of expanding on that a tiny bit, is that, you know, I'm just so happy to be a part of the Aggie Growth Hack, you know, kind of movement, what we've started to create, you know, and to be able to present basically my framework. This is a framework that I've built over the past 20 some odd years that is a systemized approach to marketing, right? And a lot of marketing companies don't follow this pattern. They don't follow this at all. And so it might be very new concepts to you. Some of them are very, you know, tried and true kind of concepts. So I'm just going to jump into it and share my screen. So hang on, bear with me a second. I am a computer geek, but you just never know what's going to happen live. All right. Can y'all see my screen?
Not yet, but it's coming.
Oh, here's why. I've got to actually share my screen first. Here we go. Bear with me a second. It's this one. Nope, it's this one that I want to share. All right. You should see my screen.
Yep, we're good to go.
All right. So let me switch this. All right. Now you see it. Oops. All right, so what we're going to talk about today is, in true Aggie Growth Hack style, is the 2021 marketing hacks, right? And we put this together simply because, you know, we want to do this somewhat quick in Aggie Growth Hack style and not spend a whole hour presenting this, okay? So in this, what I'm going to cover, and by the way, I absolutely love memes, right? And so I'm going to throw a little bit of humor in here, right? So this is from Tommy Boy. I've got a plan, right? So the first part is that we're going to talk about the 3 fundamentals of marketing success. Some of these, you can get really deep in the weeds on this and go down a lot of rabbit holes. But I'm just going to try to go through this as quickly as possible. Latest trends and what to look for in 2021. I realize that we're a quarter of the way through 2021 at this point. As we're recording this, it is the mid-April 2021 timeframe, but there's still a lot of runway left here, you know, to really do a great job on your marketing. And I talk a lot. I work a lot with service companies, but these are tried and true marketing principles that are going to work for your company, whether you're a manufacturer trying to get in front of your target audience or have a product, that you sell online, trying to get in front of your target audience, or you're a service-based company. All of these principles that I'm going to talk about today really do work, right? Okay, so the latest trends, and then I'm also going to help you develop a custom plan and work on the top 3 things right now that you can work on today. Okay, so who am I? I've never really, I think, introduced myself to the Aggie Growth Hacks community. My name is Chris Hunter, class of 1998. Whoop! I'm the chief marketing hero of Marketing Heroes. I live in College Station, Texas. We chose College Station because it's the best place to, in my opinion, on raising a family. I have 3 kids. 2 of those are shown in this picture right here. This is a really old picture, pre-COVID, beard and all. So way, way back in the day. I've been doing SEO since 98. Really, if you think about that, that's before when Google launched. And what is SEO? Search engine optimization is what it stands for, and it's getting websites and web pages more specifically ranked on Google. Okay. Now I say that's before Google launched, and that's because the first site that I ranked was my own website in 1998 on Yahoo. And that was a royal pain. When Google came around, I shifted absolutely everything that I was learning and doing to Google. Okay. I started Web Unlimited in 2003. That was a web design firm that I owned. I started freelancing actually when I was in the Air Force and started building websites. And I always viewed websites as more than just a static brochure, which still today I fight with small businesses. They think that, oh, I've got a website, I'm good. Boom. That's not good enough anymore. And it never was. And that's what my passion I found quickly was marketing instead of just web design, So we started Marketing Heroes in 2014. I sold Web Unlimited to my now current business partner, and he and I started Marketing Heroes in 2014. And then we started roofingsites.com in 2018. Now, Roofing Sites is a brand of Marketing Heroes, and basically we chose the roofing vertical to choose something that we knew was working and we could really help people out with. Okay. My personal mission is to double the size of 100 small businesses by 2015. Now that sounds an awful lot like a BHAG, doesn't it? That is my personal BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. Random fact for me is that I rode my bike from here in College Station, in fact, at my church in College Station, at Peace Lutheran Church, to Baltimore to raise money and awareness for pancreatic cancer in 2012. That was a lot of riding, and it was an excellent journey. If you'd like to learn more about that journey, go to irideforcancer.org. All right, so I'm going to throw a question at you. What's the hardest part about marketing your business online? What is it? What do you think, Greg?
Well, personally, I think the biggest or the hardest part for me is, how do I know it's actually working?
Yep. I think that's the biggest part, and really what's working and what do you focus on? There are literally thousands of platforms and tools to use out there. There's just tons and tons of them. So what do you actually focus on? All right. The reason for that question is that because of this, and because of there are new tools almost every single day in the marketing industry, I built a marketing system, a framework, if you will. Okay. And it's a very, very simple framework. The first, and it's 4 R's, right? So let's keep that in mind. All right. The first R is reputation, because you cannot build a house without a solid foundation, right? Well, your marketing is exactly like that. You have to have a solid foundation underneath you before you build anything at all on top of it. Okay. Most businesses do this wrong. They work on the next pillar, right? And we'll talk about that here in a second. First, right? They work on that first before they work on their foundation. So to me, your reputation is your website and your actual reputation, right? So like your reviews online, your product reviews, if you own a product that you're selling online, all of these things kind of are really, 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 really important. Okay. Now, this framework, by the way, is a 4 R's, right? And there are 4 pillars in there. Okay. And they are made up of an evergreen system that you can pull certain tactics out, right? Certain strategies out and put other strategies in. The second pillar is reach, and this is where the majority of people in small businesses work. And reach for me is getting in front of your audience. And in fact, I think I've got this wrong here. This used to be SEO, Google ads, Facebook ads, Google My Business, and so forth. So I've actually got this little pillar, the text here a little bit wrong. I must have copied and pasted it wrong. But it's basically getting in front of more people today than knew you yesterday. Now, if you think about this, 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, the main things that small businesses, especially small local businesses, really focused on are yellow pages, radio, and TV. What are the 3 things that are failing today, right? The last yellow pages that I got, I wish I had it in here, was like literally this thin. It looked like a magazine. And that was the local one here in College Station, which we're a mid-sized market. It used to be about this thick right here, about 2 to 3 inches, right? When I first went into business almost or over 20 years ago, it was definitely 2 to 2.5 inches thick. Okay. So obviously that doesn't work. So what we did a very long time ago, in fact, I for my own business, when we first went into business with Web Unlimited, we did have a Yellow Pages ad. He came back to us next year though, right? The advertising guy, and we pulled it out. We're like, no, this isn't working for us, and what I found over the years is that it didn't really work for a lot of businesses. In fact, we've tracked that over the years, and literally 0 sales have come from Yellow Pages ads for 99% of my customers or my clients. Okay. So we took that out of the reach pillar. All right. And we added in search engine optimization because that is the Texas Avenue, right? That is the 1960. That's the I-45, right? Is Google right now. And same thing with Facebook. Everybody is on Facebook. So you should be marketing on Facebook. If you're not, think about that. The next pillar is resell. Okay. And the reason for this is because you're 5 times more likely to sell to somebody that have already bought from you before, as well as know, like, and trust you, right? So it's much easier to sell to those people. So to me, what this means is that we run remarketing ads to anyone who comes to our websites. Okay. And a remarketing ad is just simply those ads that follow you around. We also make sure that our clients have newsletters. We do social media posts, content, right? Because without content, you're never going to get that know, like, and trust factor of what marketing is all about. Lead nurturing is a new one for our resell because we found that we have had issues with, like you said, Greg, a lot of leads are coming into a business, but there's a big drop off in between leads and sales, right? So we have added lead nurturing campaigns into all of our clients, and that has dramatically helped them get more sales out of the marketing that they're working on. So their return on their marketing is much higher now. The last pillar is referral. Okay. And as we all know, referrals and most businesses are built off of this one pillar right here, right? But as you can tell, it's the very top of this pyramid system here, right? A lot of businesses start with referrals, but you have to have a solid marketing system in place. And this is all part of that marketing system. Okay, so what does it actually look like, in real life? All right, we start with a high converting website. And when I say that, I mean that it's got to have text that actually converts, content that actually converts people once they come to your website. If it doesn't talk to them, they're going to immediately bounce. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Next system that we work on is your reputation. right? And your referrals. And then the next one is local SEO, because if you're a service-based business, like a lawyer, a law firm, or, roofers like what we work with, or with lots of other home services, you got to have that local SEO. Now, how does that fit in with a nationwide type campaign? You would just replace that part with nationwide SEO, search engine optimization, getting ranked on Google, right? The next one is content. You have to be, if you're not building content for your business nowadays, you are sorely missing out, because really only 1% of businesses right now are actually creating content on a regular basis. Now, what is content? Content could be a blog, written blog. It could be podcasts like Aggie Growth Hacks, right? It could be videos like what we're doing right now, okay? And it could be all sorts of, it could be pictures of you with your clients or you with your employees, right? I mean, there's all sorts of things that you should be producing on a regular basis. And when I say regular, that means like every week. Every week, you as the business owner should be working, or your marketing team should be working on building this content. The next one is Google Ads. I like to run Google Ads in conjunction with doing search engine optimization. And that's just simply because on local service companies, what we specialize in, we have noticed that if we run Google Ads first, we're going to get leads in right away and within the first month. Okay. Versus having to wait for search engine optimization, getting ranked on Google, that's going to take probably upwards of 6 months. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're staying in front of those people and getting in front of the people that we want to get in front of right away. The next one is social media. Social media is what it is. You have got to be there. It is the Texas Avenue, it's the 1960, it is the I-45, the I-10, right? That's where people are. And so therefore you have to be just like McDonald's and stay in front of them where they're at. Okay. For your target audience, it might be Facebook. It could be Instagram. Maybe it's Twitter. Maybe it's YouTube, right? Maybe it is a new platform that's going to come out, in a year. You have to know where your target audience is hanging out. Oops. Next one for us is social ads, things like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, things like that. Again, it's just a matter of getting in front of your target audience with those ads and getting them to know you, like you, and trust you. And then the last one is email marketing. Now you could put this anywhere in your whole system, right? This for your business might be in the 4th spot. If notice there are 8 slots here. These are the 8 things that we typically work on with our clients. Okay. And we typically work in this fashion, going all the way around the clock, just like a regular clock. Okay. The end goal here with this whole system right here, with the 4R marketing system, is for you to achieve omnipresence. Wherever people go, you want them to find you. Wherever that they hang out, you want them to find you. This is very, very important. If you're only doing things on one platform, you're missing out, right? If you're only doing one of these things, you're going to be missing out, and you probably are missing out right now. All right, so the 3 things that I want to talk about real quickly here are, and this is the exact order of what I work with my clients. First, we set clear goals, right? What is it exactly that you want us to achieve, right? And we start with SMART goals, and that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Okay, everybody who probably listening to this or watching this understands what a SMART goal is. Okay. And we want to get wind in your sails, right, as we are pushing through. The next thing that we work on is did I miss one? No, timely. I missed timely. Next thing that we work on here is our big, hairy, audacious goal. I want to know, and your marketing team should know exactly where you want to be 3 to 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? They want to know where it is that you want to be, right? This is, again, and we talk about it a lot because we ask this question to every single person that comes on as an interviewee on Aggie Growth Hacks is, what's your moonshot, right? What what's your big thing that you're going to achieve or that you want to achieve? And I ask the same thing to my clients because it's important. It's important for everyone on your team to understand what that is. And we have to ask, okay, how in the world are we going to get there? Right. And it has to be that big that we have to ask that you want to be asking yourself that. Okay, so we work on with our clients, it's something that we call MTO, the Marketing Traction Organizer. This is taken directly out of EOS, Entrepreneur's Operating System, right, as their VTO, Vision Traction Organizer. Okay, this is a small part of it, but this has really helped us know exactly what that BHAG is. What's your 3-year picture? What's your 1-year plan? What are your rocks for this quarter? Okay. Those are the main things that we want to work on every single quarter and look at every single quarter. And then every year we sit down with our clients and we rebuild this, okay, for the next 3 years, the next year, and build out our quarterly rocks. I assume most people watching this understand what all of that is. Okay. Okay. Number 2, this is the big thing that I see wrong with most businesses is that they talk way too much about themselves, way too much. You go to a website, we've been in business for 2,000 years, whatever that it is, right? We're great. And like on this meme, keep talking about yourself. It is so interesting, right? I put this in here, and this is the second thing that I work on with my clients, simply because it's that important. If your messaging does not resonate with your target audience, they're going to bounce. They are not going to know, like, or trust you. However, if you're talking directly to their problems and you're talking directly to how you can solve those problems and how you do solve those problems, you're going to win in business. Okay. So, and your marketing is going to be way more effective. All right. Again, this focuses on you, not your customers' problems. Clear call to actions are one of the most simple things that you can do right now to add to your website. Meaning schedule a meeting, click to call me, buy now if you have a product, right? These are simple things, but yet the big, huge businesses have got these down right. Okay. The other part on changing your message is you want to make sure that you get clear on who you're marketing to, right? And we're going to talk about that here in a second, which starts with Chris, your avatar. Yeah.
So sorry, Amber, we got someone through the text asked, going back to the call to action.
Yes.
So what do you mean by need multiple? Is that you need multiple different calls of action? Won't that be confusing?
It depends on your, and that's a great question, by the way. It depends on your type of business. Okay. If your type of business is a service company, your call to action should be call me or schedule a meeting with me. Okay. For me, I call these things cash registers. Okay. And they're big buttons, right, that are in the upper right-hand corner of the website, right? Every single website that I design these days has that. It also has a clear phone number for them to call. And by the way, those call to actions are probably 7 to 8 times, depending on how big that the website is, the web page is. If it's really long, they have to scroll a lot. I want to make sure that every single main section of that website has a clear call to action in it. Okay. And a singular call to action. Don't confuse them. Now, if you're a product-based business and you're selling online, let's say, you're going to want those call to actions also as people scroll down, but it's going to say something different like buy now, right? Add to cart, whatever that it is, stuff like that. All right. We're good here. I know I'm pushing through this. We're 30 minutes into this. All right. So I'm going to try to speed things up a little bit. I might blow through a couple of things like the avatar. I think most people understand what an avatar is, but this is a singular sheet that describes exactly who your target audience is. If you notice on this sheet, it has an avatar name, right? You're going to put that avatar name on there, their age, gender, marital status. We fill this out with our clients at the very beginning so that we are super clear on exactly who we are marketing to and what their pain points are. Okay. I'm going to fast forward through a few of these slides. Who's your ideal customer? We filled one out. This is an example, Jane Smith, her pain and frustrations. This is for our roofing clients. Roof is leaking, can't get a roofing company on the phone or to return their call. They need to get their roofing issue resolved. The roofing company is too busy to deal with it, or even more important, that Jane is too busy to deal with it. She's worried about the situation. It could be unhealthy for her family. It's just not good to have a leaky roof, right? As you notice on the demographics over here on the left, I added a whole bunch of things in there. You want to pinpoint it exactly down to who you're talking to, okay? We also have her fears and implications, being ripped off or overcharged, paying too much for something that she could have gotten somewhere else, having her home damaged by faulty workmanship. All of these things are going through Jane's mind as she's out there looking for a roofing company. Okay. Goals and desires. They want to get the roof fixed. They want to have the issue behind them, get it done with, and so forth. So these are all the things that she really wants. If you can see through Jane Smith's eyes, right? If you can see through Jane Smith's eyes, then you can sell what she wants to buy. All right. This is very important. Remember, your website messaging must have this. Your product messaging must have this, okay, on every single page, not just the home page. So here's a worksheet that we typically go through to really describe what your message is. I'm going to go past this, and we're going to work today now on what's your plan for 2021. What do you focus on now? We're going to go through the top 3 things that you need to focus on now, and we're going to identify those. And more importantly, what is going to be your quickest wins? All right, let's see if I have this slide right. I'm going to put them all back in here for the 4R marketing system. Hey, we got it, right? I must have copied and pasted in the wrong place. So you see on the reach pillar, we've got SEO, Google Maps, Google Ads, content, social media posts, social media ads, right? Those are all very important things. Now, what I want you to think about right now, okay, is where are you lacking? What is the area that needs the most attention now? Is it your website? Is it your reputation? Remember, those are the 2 pillars on the bottom, right? Those are your foundation. Is it your local SEO if you're a service-based company? Is it your national SEO if you're a product-based business, right, that sells to everyone worldwide or nationwide? Is it your content? Are you not producing enough content on a regular basis? Is it your Google Ads, right? Are you running Google Ads? I say run Google Ads, by the way, because you want to be placed in the right place at the right time when people are searching. Okay. Super, super important stuff here. Are you having issues with your social media? Are you posting to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, right? Google My Business, by the way, has started allowing in the past year to 2 years, started allowing you to add posts to Google My Business, right? Social ads. Are you running social ads? And if you are running social ads, are you running to a cold audience or are you running to a warm audience? There's big differences on the message that you should be presenting there, right? To a cold audience, that you need to get them to where they know you, right? If they don't even know you and you're running, hey, buy my product, I'm great type ads, you're most likely going to fail. Again, it comes back to that messaging part. Okay. Get the messaging right, whether it's Facebook ads, your website, your e-commerce store, your anything, any of your marketing materials, you've got to focus on the messaging first. And the last thing is your email marketing right. What we found out in 2020 and 2021 is that one of the most important things out there, and this went for restaurants, this went for everybody across the board, is that email marketing would save your company. If you didn't have a list at the beginning of March of 2020, you had an issue. Okay. Restaurants that had that list, that had people that signed up, right, to receive coupons and so forth over the years, could easily market to those people and say, hey, we're still open. Come on and we'll bring the food out to you safely. Okay. The people that didn't have a list really suffered. All right. And this went for restaurants, fitness clubs. This went for just across the board, all small businesses. Okay. If you couldn't get your message out, if you didn't have a platform to get your message out, you suffered. Okay. So if you look at this, And I'm going to pause here for just a second, right? And see if there's any questions. I know I've blown through a lot of stuff, but if there's anything here, right, what would you focus on? What should you focus on? Well, you should focus on the high converting website all the way around. Okay. You can substitute, by the way, email marketing with content maybe, or in between Google ads and content. All right. If this makes any sense. And that's just simply because email marketing is super, super important. All right. I'm going to pause for a second, see if there are any questions about this.
Hey, Chris, Drew texted in. Hey, Drew, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. But Drew said, okay, talk to me a little bit more about what you mean by high conversion website.
Okay.
Is that and I'm gonna add on because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Is high conversion they know me is high conversion cash in my pocket? What do you mean by high conversion website?
So that's a great question. Absolutely. And thanks, Drew, for, showing up and coming in and asking. So here's the deal, right? If your website, and this goes back to the marketing message, right? You're Donald Miller, a really great marketer, came up with a framework called the Story Brand Framework. We talked about it, I think, a little bit in our last webinar, right? And if you're not familiar with the Story Brand Framework, it's basically, it positions you, the business owner, you, the business, right, as a guide, and the hero as your customer. Okay, so Donald Miller's framework is simple. He says that all great marketing builds their marketing with a story, and all great stories, right, have 7 things that that for their messaging, right? When I'm talking about story brand, I'm talking about your messaging. Okay. And they have 7 things that are in common. And this is all great stories. And I'm about to ruin every single movie that you're ever going to watch, every single book that you're ever going to read. Okay. All great stories. And this started with Plato, with Oedipus, and all these great stories that started way back in the day, all the way up through now. Okay. So every great story has these things in common. One, it has a hero. Okay. The hero has a problem that needs to be solved. Okay. They meet a guide that tells them how to fix their problems, right? And then calls them to action to solve that problem. All right. And when they're called to action, they can either fail, and it's typically some miserable failure that's going to happen, right? Or they win. Okay. So every single story follows that simple framework, every simple great story. Okay. So let's put that into action there. Let's talk about, I don't know, Star Wars. Okay. One of the most famous movies of all time. Okay. You got Luke Skywalker. He is the hero, right? He has a problem. Darth Vader's after him. Okay. Darth Vader, more importantly, the Emperor wants to kill him. Okay. And he meets Yoda. Yoda says, I'm going to make you a Jedi master. Okay. And he goes through the training as much as he possibly can. And then Yoda says, and he didn't really say this because I am a geek. I watch all these movies, over and over again with my kids. But the call to action for Luke is that he's got to go out and destroy the Death Star, or destroy the Emperor, right? Or else the entire galaxy is going to be under the Emperor's rule, or they're going to win. And so what happens? Well, he does all of that, and they win, right? So if you didn't watch Star Wars, if you haven't watched all the Star Wars movies, I'm sorry, I just ruined it completely for you, right? Sorry about that. So how does that apply to your messaging, and how does that apply to you as a business? One, you're not the hero. Okay. Your hero is your customer or your client. That's the hero. You're the guide. You're the one telling them, hey, I've got this framework, kind of like the 4R marketing system, right? I've got this framework. And if you simply follow this framework, you're going to solve all of your problems. Okay. It might not be the framework. It could be the product. The product might solve one specific problem, but it solves a problem. Okay. And if you don't use it, you're going to fail, or you're going to win, right? Or it's going to do this or this, right? So it's an either or an or. All right. So how does that apply to your website? And I'm sorry, this is getting really long-winded. I can talk about marketing stuff all day long. I'm a geek, marketing geek. But how does this apply? Okay. So Donald Miller, right, has a framework for your website, right? He's the story brand author. He's got a framework for your website. The first part is the header. Your header has to talk to, it has to pass the grunt. He calls it the grunt test. Okay. And the grunt test is very, very simple. Okay. What problem are you solving? Sorry, that's wrong. What do you do? What problem do you solve? And how does that apply to me? And how do I get it? If you can answer those things within the first 2 to 3 seconds of a person coming to a website, your product or service is going to convert a lot better. Your website is going to convert visitors a lot better. Okay. So that's a part of that high conversion website. The other things that I like on to making a website immediately high converting is I like to have that call to action that I'm going to use throughout the website in the upper right-hand corner as a button that stands out. Clear. 2, reduce your navigation. You don't need home anymore. You don't need about anymore. You don't need contact us. You don't need services anymore. Okay. In your navigation of your website, you need a couple of things. You need that call to action. You need possibly a phone number if you're a service-based business. It's highly possible, like on my websites, I have our framework, a link to our framework on our website. Right. So if you go to mheroes.com, that's my website, or roofingsites.com, you're going to see that I have reduced our navigation to just a few things. Okay. Next, when you scroll down, you want to make sure that it has the problem, right? You want to agitate that problem because people are not going to take action on anything unless you pose that problem to them that they are having, the things that are going through their mind, right? On our website is your marketing unclear, right? Or is it too overwhelming for you? And most businesses are like this, right? And we understand. So we're the next section is the guide section, meaning that you're telling them what your plan is, right? What is your plan? We understand and be empathetic. And then all that stuff that you have, about your product, about your services can go way down. If you solve those 3 things on your website, it's going to immediately help your conversions. I've seen it time and time again. I've applied that same framework to my church's website. I've applied it to my troop, my Boy Scout troops website, right? That same exact framework. And we have seen conversions on people joining our organizations skyrocket. Okay. In fact, our troop doubled the size of our troop in the past year during a pandemic. So this framework works. All right. Hopefully that solved I answered your question.
Yeah, I think that's good. And real quickly, I know we're running up on time, but Stephanie also asked, she had a question about content and creating content. I know you said you can do it a lot of different ways, but what's your advice to people that aren't comfortable creating content or don't like to, have a personal presence on Facebook or Instagram or whatever?
Content is a sticky issue with all businesses. They don't have time to create their own content, or it's a perceived, I don't have enough time, or they're just afraid to do it, or they just don't make time to do it. We started a long time ago writing blogs for our clients. So we've got a writing team for, marketing heroes. I've got writers and editors and all that kind of stuff, right? If you don't have a writing team, right? And here's why we started with that is that because our base of everything that we work on with our clients is search engine optimization. Well, guess what Google likes to consume the most? Text. So therefore we write text articles and post them on a regular basis. Now, I will say that right now on certain platforms like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, most of those platforms are gravitating towards content being video based. Okay. And that's because that's what we consume the most as Americans. I mean, think about it. We have transitioned mostly from TV to now YouTube and Netflix and all of these different platforms, right? So if you can simply get in front of a camera and it doesn't have to be a super fancy camera, like what I've got here, or a big fancy studio camera anymore. You've got these things called iPhones and Android phones. They've got great capabilities built into them. Okay. Now I like video because I can take that video and I can translate that into MP3, or I can send it to a writer and then they can write an article about that to give Google what it wants, text. Okay. Try to choose a platform, a medium, right? For your content that you can leverage the most. To me, that's video. You can leverage that the most. If you've got a podcast, however, right, that's even better, in my opinion, because podcasts have been growing at an astronomical rate, and was one of the reasons that Greg and I honestly jumped on and started Aggie Growth Hacks. Right, we wanted to interview successful Aggie entrepreneurs, and so we take those podcasts and we distribute those out both on our website as well as throughout social media. And a newsletter, by the way, right? You can go to aggiegrowthhacks.com and sign up for our newsletter and get those things, as we post our podcast. Did that answer your question, Stephanie?
Yep, we're good. Thank you for that. And I know we've got a bunch more in the text, but we also run it up on our time. So definitely want to respect that.
Yep. So these are the 3 things that you should focus on now, or 6 things to focus on now. Your website, SEO, Google My Business, if you're a service-based company, reputation, pay-per-click strategies, and sales lead nurturing. Lead nurturing is a new thing, and that's basically when a lead comes into your business, how fast are you following up with them? Okay, whether that's through a phone call, whether that is through an email message, whether that is through a text message. So those three. I will tell you that our clients, we built a system that does 2 of the 3 immediately. Like immediately when a lead comes in, it starts a drip email campaign or a drip text message campaign that's designed to get them into an appointment with our clients. Okay. That is super, super important. All right. So top 3, I want you to think now, right? And maybe even after we're done with this, what are your top 3 things that you can work on right now? What areas are that you're most lacking in? Is it your website? Is it your search engine strategy? Is it your content? Okay. Is it your pay-per-click ads? Is it your social media ads? Is it your newsletter? Do you even have a newsletter list? Do you have an email list? Okay. Wherever that you're lacking the most, pick the top 3 right now and work on those this quarter. It's that simple, right? Fix your website. Good. Check, mark, hire someone like me, right? Or hire someone who knows how to make a high converting website. Okay. Don't hire a web designer. Web designers are designers. Okay. And I know that because I've made that journey. Hire a marketer to build your website. Okay. Anyways, pick those top 3, work on those this quarter, April, May, and June, right? We're in quarter 2, and move forward, build your marketing system, right? Use the framework that I just laid out there as the 4R marketing system. Pick something from each of those pillars every single quarter and make sure that you eventually, by the end of a year, have something in all 4 of those pillars. It's that simple. All right. Questions, anybody?
Yeah, I think we're running up on time.
I see that.
But I really would encourage anyone that if you do have any of the follow-up questions, or I know that there's a couple that we didn't get to in the chat. So Stephanie, Ashley, and Chris, I would ask you to make sure that you're reaching out directly to Chris Hunter. because I think having a one-on-one conversation is going to do you so much good to be able to have that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks for letting me talk for almost an hour on marketing, because I could talk for, several more hours on it. And thanks for keeping me within my bounds, Greg, on that. I'm going to hit stop share. To everyone of our Aggie Growth Hacks, followers and community, please be sure to go to the Facebook group online on Facebook, obviously. Just search up Aggie Growth Hacks group, and any Aggie can join. Actually, anybody can join at this point, but we are most interested in building our community out for Aggie Growth Hacks for Aggie entrepreneurs, so that we can start building a community of like-minded people that can ask each other questions and help build our businesses and grow our businesses. We want to say a quick shout out to our sponsor, the McFerrin Center for Entrepreneurship at Texas A&M University. Since 1999, they have been the hub of Aggie entrepreneurs for Texas A&M. If you are an Aggie entrepreneur or a entrepreneur, please head over there and go find out more about them online at their website. All right. Thanks for joining in to this hack shop. It went a little bit longer than I wanted, but if you have any questions at all, reach out to me directly either on the group or via my email, which is cmh@mheroes.com. You can also find me on our website at mheroes.com. That stands for Marketing Heroes, and that's HEROES.com. All right. Thanks, and gig 'em.